hate, no hype, no fear. We are EFR, your protection from deception.
Welcome. We are broadcasting live from the mothership. You are tuned in and listening to Starseed Energy Radio with your host Jonah Bolt. Starseed Energy Radio, where you can always tune in to hear the colors and see the music. Starseed Energy Radio goes live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, what's up, Spaceship Earth? Thanks for tuning in. You are now receiving a live transmission from Starseed Radio, where you could always tune in to hear the colors and see the music. I'm your host, Jonah Bolt, the Octorian Starseed, and today is Monday, November 9th, 2015. I am back in Boca Raton, Florida from Costa Rica. Had an amazing trip last week. A big shout out to Costa Rica and the Pura Vida lifestyle. I also, before we get started, want to give a big shout out to my little sister who just had a little baby boy, Aiden. That's right, I'm an uncle now, number 2, so a shout out to my sister Alexander up in New York, and we will be up there next week to see the little baby. So awesome news on that end. I hope everyone had a great weekend, and we have some more amazing stuff to cover on the show today, talking about gold. We have a very special guest who's joining us, who's going to speak to that. We've been focusing on gold the last month because of this amazing new system that's out that is using gold in many different ways. But the number one way they're using it is just like the fiat currency dollar. So we'll get into that in just a minute. We're going to cover a couple things first with our headlines and, of course, our daily quote. And this quote is, "Education is not the learning of facts. It's rather the training of the mind to think." That quote by our very famous Albert Einstein. I'll post that up on starseedradio.com, where you can always find the latest news and updates. We're always posting up new articles and new things to check out, so check out starseedradio.com. Also, if you haven't called for your free piece of Elite Shungite, we're still giving away Elite Shungite for free. Give us a call or contact us at starseedtechnologies.com. I'd love to send you a free piece of Elite Shungite. It's an amazing quantum healing stone. We've been giving it away now since almost the beginning of the year, and we will continue to do it as long as supplies last. You can call toll-free 888-400-2328. Anytime, 24/7. Again, that number is 888-400-2328. Also, contact us. I would love to send you some free energy information regarding how to make solar panels, earth batteries, all different types of free energy open source devices. We have a ton of information I would love to send you. So please contact starseedtechnologies.com, and I would love to send you those PDF files and some information regarding that. Also, before we get started with the show, one more site to give out, which is starseedgold.com. You can go to starseedgold.com and open up a free gold savings account, which we'll be talking about on the show today. Again, that website is starseedgold.com. Now, there's lots of news and headlines going over. Mr. Ryan Durnick, who usually does the daily download, has been at his new job working, so he's been unable to do this time slot, but he does have an amazing feed up on starseedradio.com where you can go to and check out some of his headlines. So with that being said, I'm just going to cover some of the latest headlines out there. 2 strong earthquakes have rocked Chile, if you haven't heard about that. Indonesia also rocked by a series of earthquakes, the strongest one being a 6.1 magnitude. Also, light from a Navy test fire courses across the Southern California, Arizona sky. We had a lot of people call in and see that spectacle. Burma votes in first democratic election in years. That is big news. We've been covering that story. We've had a lot of upheaval around the planet, especially in the Middle East, and Burma being one of them. It's good to hear that their first democratic elections have gone forward. Death toll from Romanian nightclub fire climbs to 44. This happened over the weekend. A Romanian nightclub set on fire. Up to 44 people have died in that. Foreign passengers wait to leave Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh as Russian security experts en route. We also heard about the Russian airliner that was shot down last week. That's also some big news to check out and look into. Death rate on the rise for middle-aged white Americans. Well, we've been covering many stories across the globe. One here is that 1 in 2 males now have cancer in the U.S., 1 in 3 females. Crazy statistics, but they're true. To me, what that means is we need to stop eating the food that is laced with chemicals and GMO and that type of food that is literally giving us cancer. We've seen many studies showing that these types of food do cause cancer. There's also another quote which I'll read, which has a little effect to that. It's not the gluten, it's the glyphosate. Dr. Nancy Swanson. Your body is not allergic to wheat proteins. The culprit is Roundup. And we've been talking about that, Monsanto using Roundup to spray our wheat, and now everybody is, oh, I'm gluten-free, I'm gluten-free. No one is gluten-free. No one's allergic to wheat proteins. It is the Roundup chemicals that are being sprayed in our food that are making people allergic. Chipotle now linked to 35 confirmed E. coli cases. Chipotle is a fast food, healthy sort of fast food place. I do love Chipotle, I'm not going to lie. But there has been 35 now confirmed E. coli cases to Chipotle, so I'm sure their stocks will go down a little bit. Something to be aware of, though. China lobbying to drop South China Sea from the Defense From statement on the U.S., and U.S. regulators fine Tarka up to $200 million for over faulty airbags. Those are the top headlines and many more from over the weekend. Just check out starseedradio.com. We have a couple Twitter feeds and other weather trackers and stuff up there to stay up to date with. So please check out starseedradio.com. With that, we're going to jump to our special guest of the show. I had met Lorraine, this lady, in person a few weeks ago in Orlando when I met some of the execs of this amazing new company that we'll be talking about today that has to do with gold. I met Lorraine and spoke with her as well outside after our workshop in Orlando where I met some other amazing individuals. We spoke with Eric last week, Energy Eric, who also talked about this amazing company, and also Peter. And now we're going to have Lorraine's perspective on how amazing this company is and some of the amazing qualities that this company bring to the world, which is why we're so excited about having Lorraine on the show. Lorraine, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Hi, Jonah. I am fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're coming in loud and clear.
Oh, good. Well, I'm wonderful today, and how are you?
Doing good. It's good to be back here in South Florida and lots of traveling over the weekend, but always good to be back here and be in the sunny South Florida. And I would like to start off, Lorraine, if you would, by giving just the listeners a little background personally, how you first maybe got to learning about this company, but more about what your history has been, a little bit about where you grew up and what you did throughout your life, and then we can lead that into the gold company that I asked you to come on and talk about the show today. So if you would just give us a little background just about yourself.
Oh, I'd be happy to do that. I grew up in the wonderful state of Maine, and I had a typical childhood that many of us had in the 50s, where everyone in the community knew you and had their eyes on you, and it was a very warm and good time, lots of wonderful memories. As a young adult, I became involved in real estate, and I ended up owning real estate offices and being a broker and working with that, and experienced great success. I loved working with the people and helping them either sell their home or find a new home to live in. And in the very late 80s, and I think it was 1989, we experienced a day what they called Black Monday. And what happened was the housing bubble completely burst. The stock market lost a tremendous amount of volume, and the coastal county where I was working, Hancock County, which includes Acadia National Park, Blue Hill, some very high-end real estate, lost 78% of its value overnight. So needless to say, it was a real shocker for me because I had never experienced anything like that. I was young and in my very early 30s, and I thought things were just rosy and nothing could change. So I learned a lot about what can happen in times like that. I later became involved in Internet marketing in the very early days with email when people didn't even really know about it. When I was living in Florida, Jonah, I lived in Delray Beach, which is close to where you are. And
right next door.
Worked with one of the very early companies that worked with data and Internet marketing back in those early days. And so I learned a little about that. And then I became involved. I'd always been interested in frequencies, Joan. Since I was a small child, I was taught by inner masters how to travel, how to soul travel, and how to experience heaven every day on earth, so to say, and to recognize energy and frequency. And when I became older and experienced some health challenges, I was really at first kind of disappointed that all of the information that I had learned as a child and throughout my adolescence and teen years and early years hadn't been applied to healing. I didn't understand it. But it was only that I wasn't plugged in, because when I began experiencing things like Ki and the body talk system and other work that was being done in the very late 80s and early 90s, I realized, it has been applied, just in a different way. And I became a practitioner of energy medicine and applied a lot of the things that I had learned all those years and traveled around the country teaching workshops on emotional clearing. I did workshops for the public on understanding the human biofield. I had a special camera that could actually take a picture of the biofield and show the actual organs and the energy balance that was present in the organs. And so I really enjoyed that. It was very empowering to be able to share the information about energy and frequency. I don't have to tell you that that is really what it's all about. Everything is energy. And the frequency that we are able to experience, we're able to tap in with, or are resonating, has everything to do with what we're experiencing in our daily life and what we are experiencing, what we think is out there. And so this is a very empowering time for me as I traveled around the country, and I really gained a lot from it. But it wore me out a little bit, and I wanted to settle down and to experience the community again and get to know neighbors and people and that sort of thing. And I found a wonderful little cottage in the Blue Ridge Mountains south of Asheville, which I know you're very familiar with. I settled down here. And
yes, love the Asheville
immediately discovered that I needed to replace my income. And I was a little concerned. I was working very hard doing online webinars and energy medicine sessions and all sorts of things to try to replace that income when a friend of mine told me about tarot cards. And as soon as I looked at some of the websites that she showed me, I connected to it because I knew that money wasn't real. I knew that our paper money was not real. I knew that the Federal Reserve was actually a corporation and had nothing to do with people of America. I knew that, or the world, and I understood those things. I was aware, like many of the light workers are very aware of that aspect. And so I thought, oh my gosh, here's a way to actually tap into real money. Go. And I also understood the vibrational quality. I understand that gold does help boost our immune system. Real pure gold will boost our immune system. and it can protect us from radiation, both man-made and natural radiation as well. And then it also is very soothing to the endocrine system or our emotional body in bringing balance to that. It improves mental clarity. And then perhaps most important of all, or certainly equally important, is it taps us into that higher gold vibration of force. It is really a connecting vibration from earth to heaven. And so it's empowered. And, you probably gathered from what I was doing was traveling around the world teaching the workshops that I'm all about empowerment and personal empowerment. When we realize that, we do control what's going on within us and what we perceive is without us, outside of us, when we understand that, it can make all the difference in the world to us. And being in touch with that empowerment is important. And so I did get involved, and I got a little bit of a slow start. It was around the holidays. But mid-January to the end of January, I really started calling my friends and family and people that I wanted to know about this, that they could actually own real, pure money, gold, that they could get it in small increments that anyone can afford, that they could save it securely, safely, and confidentially in an offshore vault, or have it mailed to them if they wanted to have it in their possession, and that there was also a wonderful income opportunity involved if they wanted to participate in the mission to share gold with people of this planet. And so it was very exciting for me, and in almost no time at all, I found that I was really gathering a team of people who saw the vision and the mission of Carat Bars to deliver the gold to the middle class. And all of the struggles that I had from the different things that I was doing to make an income and to cover my expenses was very quickly replaced with what I was making with Carat Bars. So it's been a wonderful experience for me so far. It's been less than a year, and I have a wonderful team of people who have become empowered and seen changes in their personal life and changes in the lives of their friends. So, it's definitely a moving power on this planet right now to deliver this personal empowerment back to the people so they can own gold rather than be owned. And that in itself is empowering.
Absolutely. And I just want to give out the website again that people can go to. And all the listeners out there can open up a free account. It doesn't cost any money. You can check things out. You can go to starseedgold.com. You can read all about it. If you do sign up, it's free. You can contact me directly if you do have any questions. We've already had some people sign up through the radio show that we're talking to, so it's real exciting. And Lorraine, one of the things you mentioned that I really want to back up a little bit is the vibrational frequency of gold, what gold actually does metaphysically, some of the qualities of that pure gold, and that's what we're talking about, 99.9% pure gold, which is different from 99.9 and other, gold that's out there. We're talking about the purest gold on the planet, the high vibrational gold. If you would, Lorraine, could you expand a little bit more on the metaphysical properties of gold? Give us a little education, if you will, about what you do know about gold itself and its metaphysical properties and some of the amazing things gold can do for the body and for us, just being gold itself.
I will. First, I want to just share some information that I'm not sure you have learned yet, Jonah. Maybe you have.
Sure.
But Carat Bars gold is green gold. And I say that because it is refined without the use of toxic chemicals. Mercury and cyanide are typically used to extract gold. And Carat Bars does not allow that. There's a proprietary process that is used by the refineries where we acquire the gold that does not use toxic chemicals, which I think even gives it a bit of a higher vibration than other gold that can call itself 999.9% pure 24-karat gold that is extracted using those methods. And one of the refiners who was testing the gold for someone during a vetting exercise to find out if Cherry gold is real, was just absolutely blown away. They said they couldn't produce gold that pure. So the Cherry gold is a little bit special that way too, in that they are committed to what's going on the planet, and they are producing what can be called green gold. So gold is a protective vibration, and that resonates actually throughout all the body, throughout all the planes of the universe, man and beyond. The immune system is about protecting our physical body, yes. It is going to react when there's something that is perceived to be not self, to protect the body from things that could be harmful to it. Gold does that. Gold has that protective vibration that can boost the immune system to help the immune system do what it needs to do. And this is why people have been consuming gold. They get either vibrational gold or perhaps nano gold to consume it. This is why gold has been favored by those in royalty and in high spiritual places on this planet. In other words, the priests of the olden times, the shamans, or even in more modern times, our church members. It is very protective of our health. And so that same vibration will carry through onto the other bodies. We have 5 of them, and we're operating them all the time. We don't put any of them away in the closet. We're just more generally aware of our physical body. But in our emotional body, which many people would call our astral body, the gold vibration protects us when we're traveling in that realm, or when we're in an emotional state of mind. The emotions can go either way. There can be emotions that kind of bring us down and can create issues with our health, or even with how we think, our mental clarity or spiritual. And yet gold, that protective quality, that vibration of gold, can help stabilize the emotions. And the same thing with the mind. Our mind is dual, right? You can look at something this way, you can look at something that way, and we want to get clarity, and people work to be able to get clarity, to be able to find that middle class where they know the answer, where they're connected, heart and brain, and the vibration of gold helps with that because it centers us in the heart and brain in that higher vibration. And then, of course, spiritually, we all know, we've all seen the iconic images that have been painted, or even today that people are making or photographing, and they will show a golden glow. Now, gold is a very protective vibration, even if you're just thinking about the color gold, golden light. If you're using it in your meditations or your visualizations, very powerful and protective. So that is what I mean when I talk about that. Is really in all of our beings, from physical to spiritual, gold has an empowering and protective vibration for us. And as soon as I joined, before I ever even had a carat bar's gold, piece of gold, one of the ingots that are in those protective cards, before I ever even had one of those in my hand, I felt very much connected, very much tapped into something that was very empowering. And then when I got it, and I carry it in my purse all the time, I can really feel the difference. And that does seem to be something that I hear from so many people. It is such a high, empowering vibration. People feel it. People get the connection, they feel the connection, and they can feel it when they have it in their hands. What about you, Jim?
I definitely can relate on the fact that having the gold on your persons will definitely help clear negative energy. I haven't personally been carrying it on me everywhere I go. I usually keep it here in the office when I show people and talk to people about it. But I know that just by having the high vibrational gold around me does clear negative energies out. It does help ground. It does help clear your chakras. And I'm a high vibrational person myself, that I'm always looking for new tools and new ways to raise my vibration, and also to protect ourselves as well. In times like this, there's also a lot of negative energies out there, and a lot of negative energies focused in on money and things like that. So I know that for myself, having the high vibration of gold around me is what I like to do, and keep it for those very reasons. I don't walk around with my gold in per se, like maybe you or others do, but keeping it in my workplace and keeping it around me, I do feel that it does help with the negative energies and help grounding out. And I know that in my research that I've done, that there's a ton of really scientific data and backed up stuff that shows and proves that gold itself is one of the highest vibrational metals on the planet. And I just learned recently, Lorraine, that gold actually comes from outer space. Gold is remnants of exploding stars, of supernovas. Gold is not per se made here on Earth, which me and everyone else that I've shared that with thinks and I thought myself that gold was made here on the planet. That's not true. Gold is remnants of exploding stars that have showered the planet with gold, which is what was left over from the exploding star. So that was a new fascinating fact that I learned just a few weeks ago, and I've watched a couple documentaries on History Channel and Discovery that actually talked about that, how that is true. So there's another piece of information for a lot of people. So Lorraine, hang on 1 minute. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more how people can get involved in some of the exciting things that they can take part in. So hang on right there. We're talking about gold with Lorraine on Starseed Radio. Right back.
They call me Marvin like the
Waking up the masses with Robert Bruce, Monday through Thursday on Truth Frequency Radio.
The greatest form of control is where you think you're free when you're being fundamentally manipulated and dictated. One form of dictatorship is being in a prison cell and you can see the bars and touch it. The other one is sitting in a prison cell but you can't see the bar, you think you're free. What the human race is suffering from is mass hypnosis. We are being hypnotized by people like this. Newsreaders, politicians, teachers, lecturers. We are in a country and in a world that is being run by unbelievably sick people. The chasm between what we're told is going on and what is really going on is absolutely enormous.
It's like we all know what's going down, but no one's saying shit when happens.
All right, welcome back to the show. You're listening to Starseed Radio. Check out starseedradio.com for the latest news and updates. We're now joined by Lorraine talking about an amazing new company that has gone from 0 to 100 real quick. They're now in 124 countries doing business, exchanging gold in an amazing new way. And before we went to commercial break, Lorraine, we were talking about some of the metaphysical properties of gold, the vibrational frequency it holds. And when we talk about some of the ancients, when we look at the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Egyptians and many, many other civilizations that had gold, that used gold, I firmly believe they didn't just have the gold to wear the gold to look nice. They understood and had an understanding that this gold was a high vibrational tool that helped tune in higher vibrations, that helped allow those frequencies to be held, and also were used to do many, many other things that gold does. So I think that these ancient civilizations really had an understanding of what gold could be used for and what it did and other things like that, which also makes me believe that the powers that be knew what they were doing when they started collecting gold from people and when they didn't want the people to have gold. Talking about when Nixon closed the gold window in 71, and other times through histories where the Spanish, say, went and around the world and just started collecting all the gold they could, and many other time periods as well. So I think that gold has been fought over for not just its value and its physical value, but its value in the metaphysical realm as well. What do you think about that, Lorraine?
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. You definitely nailed that. You know, there is a real connection between the extremes of duality that we see here with greed and wanting to and actually being able to control people in the physical and gold. And that has been done for centuries and centuries and centuries. Gold is not only protective, but gold is also a great resonator of vibration. And so when you have gold in your hand at a frequency of pure gold, your intentions, your desires are resonated stronger. There's a clearer signal with that, and it actually can be used both ways. It's kind of innate and doesn't choose sides, so to say. And so the what you may want to call negative forces, but here in the duality, the forces that are more low conscience or no conscience will use that power that they know about gold to be able to control people. And that really is the reason why gold has been kept from the masses for such a long period of time. And why even more recently, as we're coming closer to the golden age, naturally the powers that want to keep control so that there is not that experience of the golden age, they get stronger and stronger, and they will use what they have to be able to hold on to that power over others. It doesn't work in the end because this is a cycle, and we go through these cycles as learning experiences, but absolutely, that is very true. And, Charles Tice, who is the CEO and visionary founder of Charity Bar, if he gets that, he really and truly does, and his mission is to deliver the gold to the middle class. And he invested millions and millions of dollars of his own money. He didn't need to do this. He was a very successful business person, very wealthy in his own right, but he felt the mission. He felt the importance of delivering gold back to people so that they could have real money, so that they could be empowered, so that they could break the chains of this debt-based system that we have been participating in for a long time. And it actually works. Putting a gram of gold in someone's hand and them putting a gram of gold in their savings account once a week or once a month actually breaks that cycle of debt in a very powerful and strong way. And since gold holds its value, its purchasing power, very different than trying to save $50 or $100 a week or whatever you can, because as fast as you're saving, it's losing money with inflation. And that doesn't happen with gold. Throughout the history of gold, you go back a couple of thousand years ago, and G. Edward Griffin tells this. He's the author of the creature from Jekyll Island, who kind of exposed the Federal Reserve. But he talks about how gold will still buy today what it bought 2,000 years ago. And that's the same. I looked in the 50s when I was a kid growing up, and I looked to see what an ounce of gold was and how much it would buy or what bread was. And even though the dollar amount has changed, an ounce of gold would buy this many loaves, and I can't remember what it was now, but and an ounce of gold would still buy about the same amount of loaves today. So gold holds its purchasing power. It's real. And the terrific thing about Charity Bars International is it's an affiliate company. Very much, you're only going to hear about it from someone like Jonah. It's very much like Expedia or Amazon. In the beginning, we understood those were affiliate companies. Someone would send you a link and you could get something through Amazon or Expedia or eBay, and that's how it was. Now they've become such a big household word that we have forgotten that it's an affiliate company shared person to person, and that's what Tarot Cards is.
That's right.
And it's being shared person to person, and the marketing dollars, instead of being spent to penetrate TV, media, radio, are actually just returned to people as bonuses and commissions for sharing the vision and mission of Tarot Cards. So it's not a multi-level marketing company. It's an affiliate-based company. There aren't any obligations. You know, you don't have to buy anything. You can open a free account and never do anything with it. You can open a free account and start saving gold once a week, once a month, or, you know, once in a blue moon. It's really completely up to you. And if you catch the fire of empowering people and helping people to shift this paradigm that we have on this planet of being a debt-based system enslaved to paper money, which really is tied to thin air, then there's a fabulous income opportunity, and it's really all at your own pace. But there's a wonderful system set up to help you share this very easily with people, and it's just all put together for you. And you can get paid weekly, you can get paid monthly. You know, I get paid five times a month, and it's just wonderful. Tarot Cards pays you through a gold prepaid MasterCard that can be used anywhere around the world. You can save gold in your account, and I love to go in and look in my account and see how much gold. And I just ordered to have some delivered to me because I want to have more in my home. So you can leave it safe, secure, and confidential in a offshore vault that's doubly insured, or you can, you know, have it sent to you. The flexibility is there. The system is set up. It's secure. It's private. It's confidential. Everybody should really go open a free gold savings account and kind of take a look around. You can see, you know, what's there. There's no obligation, and then get in contact with Jonah and see what you want to do with it.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I just wanted to also to back up a little bit about the founder and this company itself. Now, before I even got involved, Lorraine, I myself checked this company out on many different angles to research it because, for one, with what I do at the radio show and things like that, we have to be very careful with what we put out there. And I've asked many people in the gold industry, bullion industry, about this company, and all of them so far have said nothing but positive things, which made me very comfortable, which is why I drove to Orlando to meet you and Cheryl Ann, the North American head exec that's heading up over like 300,000 accounts and some amazing people. And that's when I met you and really felt very good. And actually at that drive home from that Orlando meeting was the first time I started actually calling my family and friends, because that's who I'm starting with. And I still haven't even really opened it up to my full network because I want to give my family and friends the opportunity to open up a free gold savings account. It doesn't cost any money. You could just go to starseedgold.com, open up a free account. You can check out the back end, check out the different products. And like you said, you could save a gram a week or a gram a month or whatever you feel like doing, or, do nothing with it. There's options where you could just save gold, which I believe everybody should be doing, because if you've been listening to my show for the last 5 years, we've been talking how the dollar is down to 3 cents of its buying power. And when it gets to zero, it's going to crash. It's going to hyperinflate. We know this is coming. This is not, rocket scientists to figure out that the dollar is going down. And it is, and we've been covering this story since the inception of this show and many other radio shows. So we know the buying power of the dollar has gone down immensely. It's going to continue to go down, and gold is not going anywhere. Gold has been used for thousands of years. And when I read on the website the history of gold, and one word really jumped out at me was magi. Magi, for people that don't know, is what they talked about in the Bible. It's what they talked about in the ancient orders of Egypt. The magi, or the Jedi of ancient Egypt, the protectors of the truth and protectors of knowledge, took gold and brought it to the East. They took that high vibration, they brought it to the people. And when I read that on the website, it really gave me a background, Lorraine, on what this company really stood for. It really gave me an idea that this company was about bringing gold to the people and breaking it down in small denominations like they have. And that's the amazing thing about what this company has done, is they've broken gold down to a gram where anyone can afford $60 a week, or if you can't, maybe $60 a month, and get gold into your hands. And that's the amazing thing I liked and I saw about this company. And what they've done is they've distributing and are distributing gold in 124 countries around the world. And because of that, they are now in 124 countries giving gold back to the people. The people that had the gold, that the powers that be over the last few thousand years have stolen the gold from. They stole the gold from the people here in America. They stole the gold, the Spaniards, from all the Mayans and the Egyptians. I mean, the people have been taken back by the gold. We've been, plundered and pillaged for our gold for thousands of years. And now this company so just greatly engineered a way to give gold back to the people in small denominations where everyone can get gold back into their hands. It's amazing. It really, really is. And I'm not just saying that because I'm into this company and I'm supporting it. I'm saying that because mentally what they've done is helping people get off the paper fiat, which is worth nothing and will be worth absolutely nothing very soon, into physical. That shift of consciousness in everyone's psyche is huge. Is really, really huge. So what they've done is not just distribute small amounts of gold, but they're helping break the psyche of humanity onto paper, which the banksters has fooled everybody into believing that your $100 bill is worth 100, and breaking that cycle. And to me, that's the most exciting thing about what we're doing here, Lorraine, is we're helping the people understand that holding physical gold in their hand is worth something versus the banksters printed paper money, which is worth nothing, and very soon is going to be worth absolutely nothing, and you won't be able to buy anything with it, versus gold, which is not going anywhere. So that alone, the history of this company, what they're about, when they even mentioned the Magi, the ancient order of the people like Jesus and many others that were all about raising the awareness and consciousness and bringing gold to the people. That's what's really exciting me about this company, because reading that and learning more about the founder and meeting people like you, I really got a good gut instinct that we're dealing with the right people, with a company that really does care about the people. And that's what really excited me after I left that night and talking to you. I was just so elevated. I was so high off the energy with meeting you and everybody, and it was just so exciting. And since then, I've been inviting family and friends one by one. And again, to all the listeners out there, you can go to starseedgold.com, sign up for a free account, and get started. And contact me directly. I'll be more than happy to walk you through and get on the Synergy team and get things going. Lorraine, if you would, we have about 15 minutes left, give us some of the updates of this company. What are some of the future plans? Let's talk a little about the paper cash gold and things like that. So if you can, give us some updates for the next 10 minutes or so about where this company is going, some updates on what you've heard, some amazing programs they may be lining up. That would be very helpful, please.
Jonah, I love your passion, and I share your passion. And, your name says it all. It's really about getting back to our roots. And it's connecting with Source. Starseed, science says even now, finally, we came from the stars. We're made up of the same stuff stars is made up of. Gold came from the stars. Gold is made up of the same stuff stars are made up of. This is a connection to our roots, to what is real rather than the illusion. And that in itself is extremely empowering. So the company is definitely a worldwide company. They are doing business in, like Jonah said, around 120 countries. That means that they have passed the licensing requirements to be able to do business in those countries. It's a very solid company. They have licensing agreements with many countries to offer special collector's cards for those countries. They have licensing agreements with the Vatican to offer a special commemorative card for Pope John Paul. They have licensing agreements with many international corporations to be able to offer special collector's cards, like, for instance, some of the automobile industry, and many licensing agreements with international sports figures and other charitable type movements. So they are definitely out there. And one of the most important things that Karatbars is doing is allowing people to acquire gold in small increments that they can afford to do it. And this is not about buying a product. This is about exchanging a paper dollar that is fiat currency that is based to nothing anywhere in the world, pretty much. It's not based on anything. There's nothing backing it up. So you're exchanging that for something that is real. It really has value and holds its buying power. So you're not really buying anything. You're taking some of your paper dollars and turning it into something that's real and that can hold its buying power. So that's what it is really about. And Karatbars has a system that is being set up worldwide, and it's already in many different countries, even though it is still just in its beta stage, called the K Exchange. And the K Exchange, there's several hundred of them now. The K Exchange is a place where you can go and spend your Karatbars gold for their goods or services. And we have businesses all the way from art stores to spas to flower shops to financial planners to muffler shops, already involved. And you could also go there and get cash if you wanted to for your gold, if you wanted to get some cash. And these K exchange centers are very important because they will allow us to be able to get goods and services for our gold. And because we don't necessarily want to receive paper dollars, fiat currency back in change when we purchase something, so even though a gram of gold, you certainly, if you're going to buy some goods at a store, you don't want to necessarily get dollars back. So Karatbars has created smaller increments, smaller denominations of the gold, and you got to hold some of this, Jonah, even though it hasn't actually been released yet. It is being released very soon. And these are very strong bills that in the center has a very, very small ingot of gold, 1/10 of a gram. So this will allow us to be able to buy goods or services with our gold and get change back in the form of smaller increments of gold. So we can really not have to deal so much with that paper currency. And this is very exciting, and it's also free to sign up your own business, to register your own business as a K Exchange Center that can participate in this. And there is a huge push for 2016 to engage thousands and thousands more businesses in this exchange. It's a wonderful opportunity to have your business listed in the K Exchange website pages of Karatbars that's exposed to about 400,000 Karatbars affiliates around the world. And again, it's free, so it's a wonderful opportunity for these people to be able to see that there is a different way of doing things. There is a way that's empowering, that's lasting, that's real, that isn't part of the illusion that has been created, and to be able to enjoy that. So that's something very exciting that's happening in Karatbars, is what is being called the cash gold. And this is what looks like a bill, looks very much like a bill. It's kind of purpley violet in color, and it has a 1/10 of a gram ingot embedded in the center. And another thing that's wonderful about our CEO, Harold Seiss, is really a visionary person. And gold, like other valuable things, is probably one of the most counterfeited things on the planet. If you have something of value, there's always someone who's going to try to make a fake one. And so gold is counterfeited a lot. But what this company has done is they have a very high proprietary process using nanotechnology to embed carat bars DNA in our gold. And this will make it very easy for the merchant to know that they are really accepting 2 carat bars gold, no matter how clever the opposition is at trying to create a counterfeit, because the DNA will show through. And it's just a matter of shining a special little black light on it. So an individual can have this and protect their gold if they want, but it's really set up for the merchants. So, you know, most of the merchants we're not clever about gold. We don't know how to tell, how to do the testing, how to take a piece off the gold and what to test it with to tell its purity and so forth. But with this DNA embedded that cannot be altered, it really makes it easy so that someone at the corner store, someone in the muffler shop, someone in the flower shop can just shine a little light on it, and they know that they have true carat bars, 24 carat, 999.9% pure gold bullion. So this is very exciting, and I'm sure other companies will probably try to do something like this because it's important to be able to secure the value of the gold. But right now, Carat Bars is leading the world in producing gold that cannot be counterfeited and cannot be used to dupe anybody because it has its own DNA. So that's pretty exciting, right, Jonah?
Yeah, and I just want to say, you know, to add to that, that is why Carat Bars is the price of where it's at. And one of the big things that people bring up to me when I bring this to them is the automatic response is, oh, well, I could buy a gram of gold cheaper, or I could do this cheaper. If you compare this gold, what we're talking about, to the other highest standard gold in the world, which is UBS gold, UBS gold sells for $75 a gram because of the security feature built into the gold, which is the hologram, which is what they came up with about 20 years ago, so that it could not be falsified, it could not be, you know, duplicated in a way where it's fraudulent. And that's what this company has done, is put security features in the gold that makes it easy to sell it, to barter it, to trade it, where you don't have to get it, you know, assayed. If you just go to try to sell some gold to somebody, you have to prove that it's authentic, you have to get it tested. That costs money. So what this company has done is put all that together onto one card where they have the assayer, they have the security built into it, and that is where you're paying for. Just like UBS gold, which UBS sold out of their gold just a few months ago because it's in such high demand. So a lot of people, you know, originally, oh, I can get gold cheaper and this and that. You're not comparing apples to apples at all. You're talking about 99.9 purest gold with security features built in that guarantee you'll be able to sell it, to barter it, to trade it, and even use it for goods and services on the exchange, which is in 124 countries. That's also a big difference, though, Lorraine, is you can't just take an ounce of gold and go get your hair done at a salon like I can here in Boca Raton. I can go get my hair done right now with one of the gold cards that I got from K-Bars. I can go there and get my mother's hair done for gold. So they've actually set up an exchange system around the world that you can trade in when you want, if you want, your gold for goods and services. That's the big difference that a lot of people miss when they look at this, is that they have a system set up to use it for goods and services. And that is huge, something that sets them apart from everybody else. That's also what I love about this company.
That's true. That's very true. And Carat Bars prices very well amongst its true competitors. And Carat Bars also uses the exact same hologram on the back of their gold, just the thing that they talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So they just wanted to take it one step further. And add the DNA as well, because
that's a whole nother security.
There's a public outcry for people who want a better planet, and there are powers that be that let the people panic. Look at the Gulf of Japan, could they have really planned it? Heading for the iceberg like the Titanic. Atlantic mystery, Atlantis white from history. The truth about the pyramids in ancient Mayan prophecy.
Root We also heard about the Russian airliner that was shot down last week. That's also some big news to check out and look into. Death rate on the rise for middle-aged white Americans. Well, we've been covering many stories across the globe. One here is that 1 in 2 males now have cancer in the U.S., 1 in 3 females. Crazy statistics, but they're true. To me, what that means is we need to stop eating the food that is laced with chemicals and GMO and that type of food that is literally giving us cancer. We've seen many studies showing that these types of food do cause cancer. There's also another quote which I'll read, which has a little effect to that. It's not the gluten, it's the glyphosate. Dr. Nancy Swanson. Your body is not allergic to wheat proteins. The culprit is Roundup. And we've been talking about that. Monsanto using Roundup to spray our wheat, and now everybody is, oh, I'm gluten-free, I'm gluten-free. No one is gluten-free. No one's allergic to wheat proteins. It is the Roundup chemicals. Also, if you haven't called for your free piece of Elite Shungite, we're still giving away Elite Shungite for free. Give us a call or contact us at starseedtechnologies.com. I'd love to send you a free piece of Elite Shungite. It's an amazing quantum healing stone. We've been giving it away now since almost the beginning of the year, and we will continue to do it as long as supplies last. You can call toll-free 888-400-2328 anytime, 24/7. Again, that number is 888-400-2328. Also, contact us. I would love to send you some free energy information regarding how to make solar panels, earth batteries, all different types of free energy open source devices. We have a ton of information I would love to send you. So please contact starseedtechnologies.com, and I would love to send you those PDF files and some information regarding that. Also, before we get started with the show, one more site to give out, which is starseedgold.com. You can go to starseedgold.com and open up a free gold savings account, which we'll be talking about on the show today. Again, that website is starseedgold.com. Now, there's lots of news and headlines going over. Mr. Ryan Durnick, who usually does the daily, I want to give a big shout out to my little sister who just had a little baby boy, Aiden. That's right. I'm an uncle now, number 2, so a shout out to my sister Alexander up in New York, and we will be up there next week to see the little baby. So awesome news on that end. I hope everyone had a great weekend. And we have some more amazing stuff to cover on the show today, talking about gold. We have a very special guest who's joining us, who's going to speak to that. We've been focusing on gold the last month because of this amazing new system that's out that is using gold in many different ways. But the number one way they're using it is just like the fiat currency dollar. So we'll get into that in just a minute. We're going to cover a couple things first with our headlines. And, of course, our daily quote. And this quote is, education is not the learning of facts. It's rather the training of the mind to think. That quote by our very famous Albert Einstein. I'll post that up on starseedradio.com, where you can always find the latest news and updates. We're always posting up new articles and new things to check out, so check out starseedradio.com. The download has been at his new job working, so he's been unable to do this time slot, but he does have an amazing feed up on starseedradio.com where you can go to and check out some of his headlines. So with that being said, I'm just going to cover some of the latest headlines out there. 2 strong earthquakes have rocked Chile, if you haven't heard about that. Indonesia also rocked by a series of earthquakes, the strongest one being a 6.1 magnitude. Also, light from a Navy test fire courses across the Southern California, Arizona sky. We had a lot of people call in and see that spectacle. Burma votes in first democratic election in years. That is big news. We've been covering that story. We've had a lot of upheaval around the planet, especially in the Middle East, and Burma being one of them. It's good to hear that their first democratic elections have gone forward. Death toll from Romanian nightclub fire climbs to 44. This happened over the weekend. A Romanian nightclub set on fire. Up to 44 people have died in that. Foreign passengers wait to leave Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh as Russian security experts in.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are DFR, your protection from deception.
Welcome. We are broadcasting live from the mothership. You are tuned in and listening to Starseed Energy Radio with your host Jonah Bolt. Starseed Energy Radio, where you can always tune in to hear the colors and see the music. Starseed Energy Radio goes live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, what's up, Spaceship Earth? Thanks for tuning in. You are now receiving a live transmission from Starseed Radio, where you could always tune in to hear the colors and see the music. I'm your host, Jonah Bolt, the Octorian Starseed, and today is Monday, November 9th, 2015. I am back in Boca Raton, Florida from Costa Rica. Had an amazing trip last week. A big shout out to Costa Rica and the Pura Vida lifestyle. I also, before we get started,